The video froze on a shaky shot of a dark backyard. Snow was falling in slow, heavy flakes. A tall, thin shadow stood in the center of the yard, facing the camera. It didn't move, didn't breathe, didn't blink. The timestamp in the corner read 9:17 p.m. Live. Dude, that's my yard, Ethan whispered. His friend went quiet. On the screen, the old wooden fence, the crooked maple tree, even the dented trash can by the gate, all matched the view right outside Ethan's own back door. The camera in the video slowly began to zoom in on the shadow, like someone was walking closer. From the speakers, a soft tapping sound started. Tap, tap, tap. The shadow tilted its head. The tapping got louder, like it was coming from inside the house, not the video. Tap, tap, tap. Tell me that's a video, Jake said, his voice cracking. It wasn't. The sound was coming from downstairs, from Ethan's back door. And then, without warning, every light in the house went out. The laptop screen went black. That was the moment they realized Scary Comp. V83 was not just another creepy video. It had found them. Earlier that day, everything had felt normal, boring even. It was a gray Saturday afternoon in a small town in Ohio. The kind of town where people still left their doors unlocked, and everyone knew everyone at the grocery store. Ethan sat on his bed, scrolling through an old forum on his dusty laptop. His room looked like any other teen's room. Posters on the wall, clothes on the floor, a game controller half buried under a hoodie. He wasn't looking for trouble. He was just looking for something scary to watch. He typed into the search bar, Scary Comp V82 Real Tape. He had heard about Scary Comp V82 in a random online video. The host talked about a strange VHS compilation from 1997, power outages, people seeing figures in the dark, real police calls, all the creepy stuff Ethan loved to watch late at night. Most of the links were dead, old threads, deleted posts, people arguing if it was real or fake. But one link caught his eye. It was small with no thumbnail, just a plain blue line of text. V82 leftovers plus new cut. V83 rip do not share. Ethan frowned. V83, he said out loud. He had never heard of that. He clicked. The page that opened was ugly and old. Yellow background, black text. At the top, someone had written, "If you found this, it's not a joke. Don't watch it alone." Underneath was a single file, scary_comp_v83.mp4. There was no description, no comments, no ads, just a file sitting there, waiting. Ethan hesitated for a second. Then he shrugged. It's probably just some fan edit, he said. He downloaded it. An hour later, his friends were over. Jake, Tyler, and Madison sat on the floor in front of Ethan's bed, a bowl of popcorn between them. The curtains were half closed, so the room felt dim even though it was only late afternoon. Ethan had dragged his old laptop to the edge of the bed and turned it toward them. "So, what is it again?" Madison asked. "It's like the next version of some creepy tape," Ethan said. V82 was the first one. This is called Scary Comp, V83. Probably just a fan-made compilation of scary clips. "Is it real?" Tyler asked. "People said V82 was real footage from 1997, Ethan replied. "Blackouts in some small Ohio town. Figures in the dark. Stuff like that." Jake rolled his eyes, but he scooted a little closer anyway. "Hit play then." Ethan double-clicked the file. The video started with static. Old, scratchy VHS lines filled the screen. There was no music, no intro, just a low humming sound, like an old TV left on in an empty room. Then white letters appeared over the noise. Scary Comp, V83. Underneath, in smaller letters, some clips from the V82 incident. Some clips never aired. Some clips are new. Madison hugged a pillow. "I already don't like this." The first clip faded in. It showed a living room lit only by a small lamp. A woman in a sweatshirt stood near a window, talking quietly to someone off-screen. Her voice sounded shaky. "I keep hearing it," she said. "The knocking, always 3 times." As she spoke, The lights in the video flickered. The lamp blinked off, then on again. The camera turned slowly toward the window. Outside, everything was black. Then, tap, 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 3 soft knocks. The woman froze. Those could be faked, Jake muttered, but his eyes were wide. The next clips came faster. A hallway camera showing a door that opened by itself. A kitchen where the overhead light flickered, and a tall shadow passed in front of the fridge. A baby monitor with a grainy shot of a crib, and something tall standing just outside the nursery door, almost out of frame. There was no screaming, no jump scares, just quiet, slow-moving fear. Between clips, small text notes flashed. Verified footage. No edits. Police report. Power outage logged at 9:13 p.m. Caller claimed someone is walking around my house. Okay, that's creepy, Tyler said. Ethan noticed something else, though. In one clip, a quick shot of street sign. It was blurry, but he recognized it. Oak Ridge Lane. That street was in his town. He had ridden his bike there 100 times. No way, he whispered. What? Madison asked. Pause it, Ethan said. He backed up the video a few seconds and froze it on the frame. Look, that street sign. That's here. That's our town. Jake stared at the screen. It could just be a similar name. Maybe, Ethan said, but his stomach felt tight. The compilation kept going. Highs and lows. Some clips were almost calm, just empty rooms where nothing happened for a long time. Others were worse. A man whispering into the phone that something was standing under the streetlight. A shaky camera shot a backyard where the power went out mid-sentence, and all you could hear was breathing and soft footsteps in the grass. After about 20 minutes, the video cut to black. For a moment, they thought it was over. Then new text faded in. The following clips were pulled from a private source. Date unknown. The next video looks sharper, less old. Still dark, but higher quality. This doesn't look like the 90s, Madison said. On screen, a backyard appeared. Snow on the ground. A wooden fence. A crooked maple tree with no leaves. Ethan's heart started pounding. That looks like... He stood up and walked to his window, pulling the curtain aside. Outside, his own backyard lay under a thin layer of fresh snow. Wooden fence. Crooked maple tree. Dented trash can near the gate. He turned back to the laptop. The same scene was there, but from a different angle. This is impossible, he whispered. Dude, Jake said, his voice small. Ask your parents if they set up a camera. They didn't, Ethan said. His parents hated tech stuff. And there was no camera in the yard. He would have seen it. On the screen, the time stamp in the corner updated. The numbers changed. The seconds ticked up. 9:16 and 47 seconds p.m. 9:16 and 48 seconds p.m. 9:16 and 49 seconds p.m. It says live, Tyler whispered. A shadow appeared near the fence. At first it was just a darker patch, like a trick of the light. Then it stretched and lifted, turning into a tall, thin figure. No face, no details, just a human-shaped darkness standing in the snow, facing the camera. No one in the room spoke. On the laptop speakers, the soft tapping sound began. Tap, tap, tap. It echoed through Ethan's room, but it didn't sound like it was coming from the video anymore. It sounded like it was downstairs, at the back door, the exact door that led to that exact yard. Madison clapped her hands over her ears. Make it stop, she said. Pause it, Jake said. Ethan tried. His fingers shook as he pressed the spacebar over and over. The video did not pause. The keys clicked, but nothing changed. The tall shadow on the screen tilted its head, as if it could hear them. The tapping grew louder. Tap, tap, tap. Ethan swallowed hard. Tell me you guys hear that. We shouldn't have watched this, Tyler whispered. The timestamp on the screen changed again. 9:17 p.m. The shadow took one slow step closer. The tapping turned into pounding. And then, with no warning at all, every light in the house shut off at once. The lamp on Ethan's desk, the hallway nightlight, even the faint glow from under his bedroom door, all gone. The laptop screen flickered, then went pitch black. In the dark, the pounding stopped. For 1 second, there was perfect, heavy silence. Then something scraped slowly across the outside of Ethan's door, as if a long, cold hand was feeling its way along the wood, searching for the handle. The scraping sound moved down the door, slow and careful, like fingernails dragging along the wood. Ethan's hand tightened on the edge of his desk. No one spoke. They didn't even breathe. The scraping stopped right where the doorknob was. Something on the other side pressed against it. The metal rattled once, very gently, like a test. "Don't open it," Madison whispered in the dark. "I'm not," Ethan whispered back. His voice sounded too loud in the silent room. Tyler fumbled with his phone. The tiny screen lit up his face in a pale glow. "My phone still works," he said, shaking. "It's 9:17 p.m. Ethan's heart dropped. 9:17 p.m. The same time that had been on the video. The doorknob turned a fraction of an inch. It stopped and slowly turned back. The scraping started again, rising up the door this time, heading toward the top, like whatever was out there was feeling the whole height of it. Jake swallowed hard. We have to see if it's just your parents," he whispered. "My parents aren't home," Ethan said. "They went out to dinner. They're not back until 10. The scraping stopped. For a full 10 seconds, there was nothing. No sound. No movement. Just a faint hum of Tyler's phone and their breathing. Then, from a laptop, still dark, a voice crackled through the speakers. 3 knocks. Tap, tap, tap. But this time it wasn't at the door. It was inside the room. For a moment, they were frozen. No one knew what to do. Ethan forced himself to move. "Flashlight," he said. "Turn the flashlight on." Tyler switched his phone to flashlight mode. A narrow beam of white light cut through the dark. He pointed it at the door. The wood looked normal. No scratches. No marks. No hand reaching out of the crack. "See," Jake said, his voice too fast. "It's just sound from the video. Some glitch." "The video is off," Madison said. "The screen is black." Ethan stepped closer to the laptop. The power light was still on. The screen was black, but not like it was shut down. It was that soft, almost blue-black of a screen that was on but showing nothing. "Try again," Jake said. "Open it." Ethan tapped the touchpad. Nothing. He pressed the power button once. The screen flashed white, then filled with static for a second. The sound of TV snow hissed through the speakers. Then a new image appeared. It wasn't the backyard anymore. It was Ethan's room, not as it looked right now in the dark, but as it had looked 10 minutes earlier. The bed, the posters, the bowl of popcorn, the laptop on the edge of the mattress. And there they were, Ethan, Jake, Tyler, and Madison, sitting on the floor, staring up at the screen. "That's us," Madison breathed. The date stamped in the corner matched the day. So did the time. 9:05 p.m. The video showed them watching the earlier part of the compilation, completely unaware they were being filmed. "Where's the camera?" Tyler whispered, spinning his flashlight around the room. "There's no camera in here." Ethan felt cold all over. "It's filming us from an angle that doesn't exist," he said quietly. "Look, it's like it's above us, up in the corner of the ceiling." They all looked up. The ceiling was plain. No vents. No cameras. Nothing but the old white paint Ethan's dad had slapped on a few summers ago. On the laptop, the recording of them continued. At 9:10 p.m., the Ethan on the screen leaned forward and said, "Pause it. Look, that street sign." They watched themselves react. They watched themselves get scared. They watched themselves live the last 10 minutes. But from the outside, "This isn't possible," Jake said. Madison shook her head. "I want to go home," she said. "Right now. Please." Ethan nodded. Okay. We go downstairs. We open the front door. We walk you home. We deal with this later. "Yeah," Tyler said, though he didn't sound sure. "It's just a video. It can't hurt us." Ethan stepped back from the desk. Tyler's flashlight beam swung with him, gliding over the walls. The door looked normal again. The doorknob was still. No scraping sounds now. No taps. He put his hand on the knob. His palm was sweaty. "Ready?" he asked. "No," Madison said. "Do it anyway." He turned the knob and pulled. The door opened with a soft creak. The hallway outside was dark, too. The little night light that always glowed near the stairs was off. From downstairs, the faint light of the street lamp pushed through the frosted glass on the front door, painting a weak gray shape on the floor. They stepped out together, close enough that their shoulders touched. "Stay behind me," Jake said, trying to sound brave. They moved slowly down the hall. Tyler kept his phone light pointed at the floor, so they could see where they were walking. The house, which had always felt small and safe, now felt huge and hollow. Every shadow looked like it might move. They reached the top of the stairs. Ethan glanced back at his room. Even from here, he could see the dim glow of the laptop screen. The video was still playing, showing them leaving the room. It was showing them from above again. He tore his eyes away and followed the others down the steps, each creak of which sounded too loud. At the bottom, they turned toward the kitchen and the back door. "Why are we going to the back?" Madison whispered. "Because that's where the tapping was." Ethan said, "If somebody's out there, I want to know now. I don't want to pretend everything is fine while something is standing in the yard." They moved into the kitchen. It was even colder here. The digital clock on the oven was dead. The fridge hummed weakly, like it was struggling to stay on. The back door stood at the end of the room, a rectangle of black glass. Outside, the yard was a darker shape beyond it. "Flash it," Ethan said. Tyler lifted his phone and pointed the light at the window. The beam hit the glass and bounced back a little, showing their pale faces reflected. For a second, that was all they saw. 4 scared kids and a bright white spot in the middle. Then the light reached the yard. The snow was smooth and untouched, except for one set of footprints. They started right at the back porch steps and walked straight out into the middle of the yard, to the spot where the shadow had stood in the video. The last print was deeper, like whoever had been there had stood still for a long time. There were no prints coming in, only going out. Did somebody just appear on our porch?" Madison whispered. Ethan checked the lock. It was turned the right way. The door had stayed locked the whole time. "That's not funny," Tyler said, backing up. Jake swallowed. Okay. We saw enough. No more. Let's go back upstairs, grab our stuff, and then we all go to my house. My parents are home." They turned away from the door. As they did, the TV in the living room clicked on by itself. All 4 of them froze. The screen glowed through the doorway, bright in the dark room. No channel, no show, just static, white and gray snow hissing softly. "Don't," Madison said, but they all moved toward it anyway. In the middle of the static, an image began to form. Lines straightened. Shapes appeared. Faces. Not clear, but not fully hidden. The picture sharpened just enough to show a room. Ethan's room. The TV was now showing the same angle as the laptop. It showed his bed, his posters, the laptop, and the empty space where his friend should be. Empty. Then the image jumped. For a split second, it showed the backyard with the footprints. Another jump. A hallway with a streetlight flickering outside. A woman whispering. "It's back. It's the same as 97. Did you hear that?" Ethan said, "Same as 97? Tyler repeated, "That's the V82 year." The image snapped back to Ethan's room. This time they were there. The 4 of them, standing in front of the TV downstairs, staring up, but in the video, something else was in the room with them. A tall, thin shape stood in the far corner of Ethan's ceiling, like a shadow that had peeled away and grown legs. Its head was bent down just enough to almost touch the top of the frame. Its arms hung too long by its sides. In the TV picture, it was right above them. Ethan felt his skin crawl. He slowly raised his eyes to the real ceiling above their heads. There was nothing there, just white paint. On the TV, the shadow figure tilted its head, as if noticing they were finally seeing it. Its hand lifted and pointed straight at the screen. Straight at them, new text appeared along the bottom of the TV, in the same plain white letters from the compilation. Live feed V83 edition confirmed. Below it, more text flickered in, glitchy and broken. SCARYCOMP. V84, RENDERING. The room lights were still dead. The only glow came from the TV and Tyler's shaking phone. Madison grabbed Ethan's arm. "If this is adding us, does that mean we're part of it now?" she asked. Before anyone could answer, the TV cut to another view, this time of the front door. Someone was standing on the other side of the frosted glass, a tall, dark shape motionless. The door handle began to turn.